Why don't we call the meeting to order? I think we don't have any agenda or minutes to review, right, Colleen?
Correct.
All right. We're just going to get right into our first item then, which is Reno, who's here to talk about an upcoming event that he has a request for. So with that, I'm going to give you the chair or the floor. Good.
My name is Reno, and I put together an
Reno, you have to go to that podium.
Oh.
Sorry.
No problem. I can do that.
Okay.
Were they coming out the door?
Sorry.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So, like I said, my name is Reno. I put together like an annual event called JCI Music Festival, which is actually in honor of my mother who passed away to cancer when I was a kid. And JCI are her initials, actually. And I also, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Juice It. Has anybody ever heard of Juice It Smoothie and Juice Bar? I actually own that. That's my business. So I bring that up to say, you know, I'm big into community and just putting good into the world. And, you know, I mean, good healthy drinks. And for this festival, it's like a cancer awareness event that we put together annually. Now, we started it 4 years ago. This year's event is going to be our 4th year. And, you know, I did this in honor of my mom, you know, because she was a big music lover. That lady loved everything. You know, she'll have Marvin Gaye playing, and the next song will be ABBA, and the next song will be Dolly Parton or Kenny Rogers and Don Williams. And after that, there'll be classical music. And it's like, who is this person? Like, you know, who's this big range of, you know, just love music. So that's why we did, you know, we felt this was the best way to honor her and also bring awareness to cancer and raise money for cancer research and awareness and stuff. So we donate to people like organizations like the American Cancer Society. We donate every year. And we're doing that again this year. So we used to do it in the Newman outdoor field, and now we moved it to the Fargo Civic Center last year. Originally because, you know, it was, you know, it's we did it in October, so we didn't want the weather to be a factor, you know. And I moved it in last year, and it was awesome, and there was no weather concerns, and everything went great. The place has great acoustics. I just love the way everything was real nice and controlled. And Colleen is wonderful to work with. You know, she's firm when she needs to be, and you know, and just handles things really well. So actually, thank you very much. So you know, this year again, I come back. You know, I've come back again, and it's something that we're doing every year, and we hope to get it bigger and better. But moving into the Civic Center came with a lot of costs. You know, it cost us about $10,000 last year to do it, you know, in this at the Civic Center, which is 3 times what we were paying at the Newman outdoor field, you know. And you know, with that came, you know, us having to cut down, you know, marketing, you know, on radio promo and everything we typically do. With that being the case, we did the least numbers we've ever done, you know, at a festival. Typically, we do about 1,500 to, you know, 3,000, over 3,000 people at the Newman. The 2 years we did at the Newman. I think the first year we did about 30-something hundred, and the second year we did about 1,800 paid, and then, you know, some free tickets were over 2,000, you know. So with that being the case, last year we did less than 1,000. I think Colleen can testify to that. We did less than 1,000 because we couldn't get the word out because we didn't have the finances in the budget because, you know, our marketing finances we had to put towards the venue. And, you know, so we got, you know, the least amount of people we ever had. And, you know, so I basically came before this board today, you know, to see if we could work out something because, you know, we're doing something good for the community. We're bringing people together in a nice, you know, fun atmosphere, and nice, you know, just bringing togetherness. And, you know, we're creating, you know, awareness for cancer, and we're raising funds. Even, you know, me doing these events, I've lost up to $80,000. But I'm still here because it stands for more than that. It stands for more then the money, it represents something bigger than me, and I'm trying to create something that, hopefully someday could contribute, in community, we're raising awareness and also contribute finances, because that's what, cancer research needs. I hopefully, I see this one day creating, tens of thousands, if not, over up to hundreds of thousands, because music festivals are a big thing in the country right now. Kids love it. And, so I figure this is bigger than me. And even though I've lost all that money, it's fine. I'll keep going, because you know what? I've been blessed enough to be able to afford it and able to, take on that loss just to grow this and make it something that the community can be proud of, and does something, keeps doing something good for not just the community, but for cancer research. So I come in for this community, asking, like, right now we pay over $10,000 for this, for this space. Even something like 4,000 will go a great way. That's 6,000 we could put towards marketing. The years where we did it at the Newman Outdoor Field, we marketed as far as Minneapolis. We marketed in Sioux Falls. We marketed in Winnipeg, and that's why we had such big numbers come through. There was such a big awareness. That's $6,000 we could put towards radio, towards online marketing, towards just, getting the word out there and spreading the word about this good cause that we have going on. So it was like 4,000. I don't even know. Like, that would go a great way. So, I'm here pleading with the board to, help us with this.
Okay, thank you, Reno. Any questions anybody has?
What dollar amount are you asking? A reduction?
For what?
What dollar amount are you?
Sir, I'm not going to put words in you guys' mouth. I'll let you guys decide that. But, for me, like, even $4,000 would be great. That would give us another $6,000. At the Newman, we were paying, I don't have it in front of my head right now, but between $2,000 to $3,000 for the Newman outdoor field. So even something 4,000, that would be great. That would give us another 60-something hundred to really get the word out.
I have a question, Reno. So is the music festival, is this a nonprofit?
It's not. No,
It's not
and
filed as a nonprofit? Okay.
No, we just had those conversations because we started it on the whim. We had the opportunity to do it, in 2016, and we're like, hey, we've always wanted to do this. Hey, let's just put it together and do it. But about 3 weeks ago, we just had a meeting because we're trying to figure out how to better scale and better move forward. And we just had a meeting, and the person was advising us to make it a nonprofit and all that stuff. So after this year's, that's what we're going to be doing.
But not this year.
No, this year, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of too soon, and we don't have enough time to do that. So.
Are the bands donating their time?
No, but they're donating. Like, I still have to pay them, and that's why it still costs me a lot of money to do. But I'm using relationships, and some of them love what I'm doing, so they're not charging me their full price. People who usually charge $30,000 give me like, hey, you know what? I'll do it for $15,000. I'll do it for $12,000. Stuff like that. But yeah.
Are the what age group do you anticipate being here?
Well, this year's edition, we're calling it I love the 2000s edition. So it's acts who were these are multi-platinum Grammy award-winning acts who were more who had more of their heyday in the beginning to the mid 2000s. So it's about a 25. We're expecting a 25 to 40-year-old range. Because 15 years ago in the year 2000, a 40-year-old person was 25 years old. So they were probably grooving to to the music from these guys. So
Will there be alcohol?
yes, there will be. And that's another way we tend to offset cost, for this. So alcohol, helps us with that.
Are we having security from Fargo Police or?
Yes, we'll have police officers plus our security.
Historically, what kind of money have you donated into the cancer research?
We have probably donated about in our 3-year history, about 3,500 into it. And keep in mind that we're running at a loss. But even running at a loss, we're still donating, to them. Like for example, because I remember this perfectly because it was our first year, so we're excited. And the first year we donated $1 per ticket up to 1,500 people. And with the plan to do more, but again, even though we did a certain number, we still ran out of loss, and we still donated $1,500 to the American Cancer Society.
No other questions?
Colleen, what do you anticipate would be our expenses?
Well, I would just go off of what we had last year. We have the building, and then box office, security, and staging, bike racks, barricade, just our normal stuff that we have for every concert.
But what do you?
Price?
Yeah.
Last year, their total bill last year was $8,500.
That's what we charge them, correct?
Yeah.
So are we paid all that up front?
No, we take that's the ticket sales, we take out the ticket sales, and then we give Reno back a check for the difference after expenses have been paid for the ticket sales.
And keep in mind, like when we do the marketing, we usually don't pay marketing until, like when we advertise on Y94, we usually don't pay that tab until the end, until after the event, because I've worked with them for many years, so we don't pay up front, we pay after. So typically we, stuff like that, we take that money and that's how we paid all the radio stations for their services.
Okay, I think we have what we need. So, and I know that you're anxious to get the ticket sales going and looking for an answer, so we'll plan to give you an answer by the end of the day. How's that?
Awesome.
We'll just do some more checking on a few things, and then we'll let you know so that you can do your planning, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate you coming in today. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
sir.
doing that.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Thanks, Reno.
Thank you.
So this other one, do you want to take a quick look at this too while we're
Sure.
all here?
This
on
person's coming in?
No, she's not.
This is just a written request, is my understanding, right?
Correct.
Okay?
This is gonna be the first year that they're doing it, and it's the Downtown Business Association. They're now up in the old HR department that we had. They're right above us at the Civic. So she came down and they want to partner with Mr. Mark Knutson, with, does the marathons. And they want to partner with him to do this event.
It's a run then.
It's a run, it's a 5K. They need to come in at 5:30. The run will start at 6:30, and they figured they'd be out of the building by 9:30 on December 20th. And the proposed ticket price is not, they don't sell tickets, it's the registration, the runners. That's
Oh.
their registration.
Registration? Okay.
Yep. For the run.
And the money is being paid and raised for what purpose? Do we know that?
We do not.
Okay. At least for me, that's probably one of the most important considerations I would want to know, I think. Is this a nonprofit then? It's the
Yep,
Downtown Community Partnership, which is the organization?
yep, yep. And it's, on the second page, it has about the DCP. towards the last paragraph.
Okay. Well, my thinking is that, I'll just throw this out for conversation, is this is to promote downtown, which I think we're supportive of. I think that, like the prior event, one of the first considerations needs to be what are our costs, because we don't want to do something like this or the other event and have it cost us money. We could just soon give a check to Cancer Society if that was the case, right? So, do we have an idea of how much they're asking and what our costs are?
Their cost will be very minimal,
Okay.
just because they'd have the staffing costs. They would have whatever tables they will need for their packet pickups, which probably aren't going to be very many tables. So staffing costs would be, for 4 hours, would be about $80. Tables are $5 a piece. They'd probably have around $100 to $150 in extra costs besides rent.
And the rent would be what?
$650.
Okay.
What was that question? What did you say?
What are our costs?
No,
So our cost would be roughly the $150 or $200. Our rent is $650. So normally we would charge the rent plus those costs, is that correct?
Correct.
So let's say it's $800. That would be the normal amount we would charge them without any kind of subsidy.
Correct.
Okay. And what do you think they're asking for?
They're asking for the one-day rent.
So they want the $650.
Yes.
Are we gonna have concessions available?
No. In the past, we've tried concessions for like the half marathon, and it doesn't, we don't make any money. We lose money having it open. Because the people come in, they watch the start of the race, they leave and come back and watch the end of the race. 5K is not gonna be a very long race.
Maybe for you.
Would quote. Okay, so they're gonna potentially bring in $35,000. And they're looking for reduced rent.
Yep.
What do we normally do?
1 day's rent,
We normally do that.
yep, for nonprofits.
Anybody have any thoughts?
Have we turned anyone down lately on those?
No.
And the money is being raised to go to the Downtown Community Partnership just to fund their operation. Is,
Yep. We will get, they want an alcohol vendor here, we will get a percentage of that. We get 20% of the sales for that.
well,
And that'll come from the alcohol vendor, not them.
a positive would be that they're partnering with Mark Knudsen, which has an experience in putting something like this together. And it's to help promote downtown, I suppose.
Would you like a motion?
yeah.
I recommend that we give them the $650 break for the rent.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so they've been granted the $650 rent reduction or forgiveness. And then you will be charging them for your actual costs.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I was thinking maybe Dan might have been here by now for our discussion on the last event, but since he's not, why don't we ask what other questions we have and try to make a decision on that. And kind of going back to Jim's question, Colleen, I don't think I have an understanding of what our actual costs are. I know that what we charged them was $8,500. But, I mean, we've got some costs for security and everything, so, I mean, his ask of $4,000, for example, would actually probably put us in the hole. Yes?
Yes.
Right.
Because we have our rent was, it's 2,800 versus 10% of tickets sales capped at 3,800. Well, his ticket sales were low enough that he only had to pay the 2,800 for rent.
Okay,
Okay, police and medical, because we have to have both of those here, last time was 2,300.
okay,
Our security was 1,700. Our box office fees were $790. And our equipment costs, which is tables that they used for the T-shirts in the bar and inside, and barricades and staging pieces, those costs were $940. So our total bill to them was $85.65.
and the only thing here that is even questionable as far as money that we can play with is the 2,800 rent, really, because the rest of them are hard costs.
But if you give them a deal,
Well, I'm not
where I
asking for
think,
your opinion on
yeah,
it right now.
I
I'm
would
just-
say, my opinion would be no, because then everybody's gonna come in and ask for the same thing. And then,
Especially not being a nonprofit.
when it's not a nonprofit, yes.
Yep.
So it's not a nonprofit, and they don't have a history of really donating much to cancer.
What do we have at risk? Is there some of those expenses? Well, there are some of those expenses are ours if he doesn't generate the revenue.
Correct.
So,
Last year, he sold 350 tickets. He gave away 750 tickets.
What's the ticket price?
Well, last year, the ticket prices were $38. This year, the ticket prices are $29. He's dropped his ticket price. I tried to tell him that last year that, you gotta really watch your ticket pricing. I think that was part of the problem with ticket sales. The tickets were too high for what he was bringing in. A lot of the bands come in and they play maybe 2-3 songs that are just local bands, wannabe bands, that really doesn't have a rapport with any bar type setting. They just are, kids that want to play. He had quite a few of those. He had 2 headliners.
what's the date that he's planning on?
October 25th. He has given me the deposit. I have not done anything with the check because he has not signed the contract. In our contract, it states that they have to have their deposit, a signed contract before tickets go on sale. He wants the tickets to go on sale today at 10 a.m. So I still have to get the signed contract from him before I allow the tickets to go on sale.
Is there anybody else interested in that particular weekend?
No.
Nothing. And this is one where, because of the time of the event, we will definitely have overtime expenses and those types of things, right?
Probably yes, because it's a Friday evening. Doors will open up at 4 o'clock. Bands start at 5 and go till 11.
I think there's too much risk for us for the benefit deal.
I'm not sure there's really a benefit. I mean,
When you give out 750 tickets and you only sell 350,
Correct.
that's not good business.
No,
I mean, that doesn't make
For
any
the end
sense at
result,
all.
they're donating $1,500, $2,000 to the cancer.
Well, last year they made, let's see if I can find my ticket. Last year, their ticket sales were $14,000. So in return, after they paid our building, we gave them a check for $5,400 after the building costs.
Well, you know, I appreciate what he's trying to do and everything. I'd like to, and I like the idea of the building being rented and an event going on. That's always good. It's good for the civic. But I just don't know how we start the precedent of doing subsidized rent for other than nonprofits if we've had a history of only doing it for the nonprofits. And I think once we start down that path, it becomes pretty hard for somebody else to come in 3 months or 6 months from now and make a similar request. And, you know, I don't know what our reason for turning somebody down would be if, because everybody's got a good cause and a good purpose. So I guess for that reason, I'm not in favor of going down this path for a for-profit entity. So he said he's gonna file for nonprofit next year. If he doesn't, he comes back. We could certainly tell him we'd look at it differently as a nonprofit, right?
I was just gonna say, if they do a 501c3, then yeah, we can.
So I'd make a motion, we decline the request.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, and Colleen, you'll get back to him, and when you get back to him, will you just give him the message that we certainly appreciate what he's doing and everything, but we just have a precedent of only granting subsidized or reduced rent? Because that's fair to say, right,
Correct.
to nonprofits, and we feel like we need to stick by that policy.
Okay, I will do that.
I move we adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Anybody, anything else? No? Okay, we're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
I need